Hi everyone, welcome to another video. This time I'm going to be doing a video on Barry Island. It's one of a few videos that have been requested a long time ago and I've just got round to doing it. So if you are watching on my channel, I hope you enjoy. If you're watching on Facebook, I do hope you enjoy. And if you're watching on one of the Butlins sites, I hope it's been worth the wait. Right, let's crack on. This was the last of the Butlins camp to be built, and this was the smallest as well, occupying some 45 acres of hilly land on what was known as Nell's Point, a local landmark in the South Wales town of Barry Island. Plans were submitted and building took place during the winter months of 1965, ready for the camp to open the following year. The construction prompted a wave of local anger. Nell's Point was a popular recreation area and a number of footpaths and roads would be lost if the scheme went ahead. The council, realising the benefits of attracting the camp, went ahead and granted a 90-year lease of the land. The camp settled down to a popular existence and boasted all of the usual Butlins entertainment. Over 800 chalets were built and the camp could accommodate close to 5,000 people. A chairlift opened in 1967 and provided useful transport up the hill. The site also boasted the biggest bar in Europe, the Beachcomber Bar, unfortunately destroyed by fire only a couple of years after opening. The camp managed to avoid the first batch of closures, and in July 1986 Butlins announced that the camp would be retained and upgraded. They were quoted as saying all the centres will eventually be upgraded. We have no idea how much will be spent at Barry, but there are plans to go ahead there next year, ready for the 1988-89 season. It therefore came as a major shock when only 3 months later, Butlins announced that the camp was no longer included in their plans and was about to close. A buyer was found in the form of Megestic Holidays, who announced plans for a new £15 million holiday complex. Although the project never came into fruition, the site did reopen and life continued pretty much the same. Investment was kept to a minimum and many of the shops and retail outlets were franchised out to local business people. Now, I did actually pause to re-edit this bit because I burst out laughing when I first read this bit, so here we go. Complaints about the accommodation led to a clause being inserted in the booking contract which said that visitors could only sue for 20% of the cost of the holiday. They had a lot of confidence there then. A major overhaul of the indoor and outdoor pools took place during the early 90s and the buildings were reclad to give them a new, fresh look. But still, presumably, you could only claim back 20% of your holiday. The last season for Barry was 1996. Problems with renewing the entertainment licence, along with low bookings and storm damage inflicted during the October of that year, finally closed the site for good. The camp lay empty and vandalised. Various ideas and schemes were thrown around. There was even the proposal to turn it into a prison. How wonderful. Then one day the local council decided to put their hands down the back of the sofa and purchased the camp for £2.25 million and proposed redevelopment as a recreational facility, open space and an area of varied housing development, different sized houses in other words. Many of the old structures and chalets were torn down, although some buildings including the Regency and the Gaiety were retained. The outdoor pool even opened up again for a brief spell before closing down. It had a roof and then it blew off, so became an outdoor pool. No, it didn't really. The remaining buildings and swimming pools were left disused and falling into disrepair. A new housing development resulted in over 250 homes being built on the rest of the site, and the remainder was landscaped and left for recreational purposes. More recently, in 2005, quite a while ago actually, the remaining buildings were demolished and the site was finally clear. So there you have it folks, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you have, give it a like, a share and consider subscribing to my channel. I will also be doing a video on the Barry Island railway station. I am quite into railway stations and local history. So I will say that if you do like these videos and local history, railways, blah 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 blah, please consider subscribing to my channel, which is Transperience on YouTube, and Andy to know on Facebook. So until the next video, take care of yourselves folks. Hope it's been worth the wait, and goodbye for now.